Merry Christmas once again, everyone. And syempre, it's Christmas time. It's time for celebration. Pero may konting stress din tayo. Syempre, we have to do a lot of Christmas shopping. And especially for the guys in your life, palagi reklamo ng asawa ko, is that ang hirap daw hanapan ng mga gift. Yung guys. Well, this video is exactly for that. For example, this is a pretty cool knife and it's only 20 pesos in Lazada. And this is how it works. Meron siyang lock dito that you unlock to get the knife out. But very creative yung pagkagawa na you just fold this like that and fold this like so. And now you have a knife. Grabe, for 20 pesos, I think this would be perfect to place in the pocket and then open mga packages, etc, etc. It's not like the sturdiest thing in the world, but for most use cases, this is perfect for that. So, these are gonna be the type of items that we are going to feature, yung mga exciting, cool guy items that you may want to purchase for the men in your life. That's our video for today. All the items that we will be talking about is available in Lazada, so I'll be placing a link down below. Syempre, it's very stressful to shop for items, especially doing it in a mall where you have to be walking all over the place and hindi mo pa alam kung anong item ang meron. So para madali lang sa atin, all the items are available in Lazada, and Lazada is having their 12/12 Grand Pamasko Sale. That's on December 12th to the 14th. That means you get up to 90% off Laz Flash deals and no minimum spend, fast and free shipping plus 100% cashback. So my suggestion for you guys is add to cart na ngayon, and pagdating ng 12/12, diretso ng checkout. That's the Lazada 12/12 Grand Pamasko Sale. So I hope all the items that we will be talking about today will help you make your Christmas a little bit more merrier. Plus, naka-sale pa kayo. So kanina we were talking about this 20 peso knife that you put in your wallet. Now the problem with this is you can't fly with this, right? And it's a little bit flimsy, syempre 20 pesos lang. Now, what if gusto mo ng upgrade for the man in your life? This is what I would recommend, and actually gamit na gamit mo to siya, guys, because I carry this every single day and I place this along with my keys. So ito na yung keychain ko. And this is called the TPT Slide, and this is made out of titanium. So medyo may premium din to. And itong blade niya has something very special in a sense that it doesn't cut you. It's dull enough that it doesn't cut you, and you can carry this on the plane. I've never had a problem bringing this on the plane, but it's also sharp enough to use on the 99% thing of why we have knives. And that is to open our Lazada packages. And this comes very handy, especially because it's such a small and sleek item. And meron siyang clip dito, so you can actually just clip it. Even in this smaller pocket, kasya siya. Meron siyang pry bar, this part. This is used to open mga paint cans or even mga corned beef natin. Ito yung gagamitin natin. And if you look very closely, ito yung hexagonal shape niya. Is sometimes we have, I don't know how common this is, but ang dami kong mga screw na may mga hex. And this is pretty standard in the industry. And you can just place this in, and you can now do emergency na mga screwing. You can also take out the blade, and makikita natin na may mga ngipin dito. This is actually perfect for screwing in mga bolts. So, may mga different sizes siya dito. And you can use it to tighten or loosen mga nuts and bolts around the house. But, that's not all po, ma'am, sir. Check this out. Pag binaliktad mo yung blade, you now have some sort of a fork. So, ito yung gagamitin natin sa mga camping trips. I've never used this before, but it's good to know they even thought of that. So this is, I would say, a pretty interesting gift. I would love to have my wife give me something like this. Yung mga ambubot ng mga lalaki, ito yung mga perfect example of that. So that's the TPT Slide. Now, the next item that we're going to be talking about is something that I can relate to because I love doing mga DIY projects around the house. Sometimes we handle medyo sharp objects, yung mga wood na posibleng ma-splinter tayo, mga knives, mga saws, mga drills. And it's just much more pleasurable to work on these items when our hands can remain clean and safe from all the possible injuries that can happen. And syempre, I'm talking about gloves. Now, there are a lot of gloves that you can buy on the market, yung mga 20 pesos or 30 pesos na mga gloves. But hindi siya pogi. So, I'm recommending these mechanics branded gloves. There are a lot of versions of this. There are medyo army yung style, and I feel like the line of the mechanics gloves are the best when it comes to good quality protection for the hands of the guys in your life. So ito yun. This is what it looks like. It's not bulky, it can last for a very long time, and I feel like it's the perfect gift for the guys in your life that are very hands-on. So, ito yun. Mechanics gloves. Link down below. Now, these gloves that we just talked about are actually perfect for gardening as well. So, my dad actually uses them. Ako, wala akong talent sa gardening. That's why I need the help of our next item, which is this one. This is what we use around the house to make sure that our plants are watered properly. Kasi hindi kami well-informed when it comes to being a plantito, plantita. And this is called the SUS-T. What this is kind of like a moisture meter. Let me show you. Okay, excuse na lang sa mga gamit ni Scott. This is Scott's house na. So, nagiging Scott pad na siya. Anyway, the problem with plants around the house is we don't know if kailangan ba niya ng tubig or hindi. We might be watering it too much or we might not be watering enough. And this is where our SUS-T comes in. All you have to do is place this thing into the soil. And now, we wait for about 20 to 30 minutes. If it turns blue, that means that it's watered properly. And when it's white, we water a little bit more. So, alam na natin ngayon kung ano ang dapat na tubig na kailangan ng tanim natin. That is very, very helpful for us na, yun nga, trying to be plantitos. So that's the Aquameter by SUS-T. So it doesn't need anything else. You just have to replace this every 6 to 9 months. No battery, no nothing. Just use this as the gauge for knowing the right moisture for your plants. The next item we are going to be talking about is one of my favorite items of all time, and I carry it with me every single day. And it's this Fisher Base pen. It's a ball pen, but it's unlike any other ball pen you've ever come across. Well, at least for me. Alam mo yung legendary story of NASA trying to invent a pen that works in zero gravity? Well, this is the pen that they were talking about. This pen not only writes in zero gravity, syempre hindi natin magagamit yung feature na yan, but it writes every time you use it until maubos na yung ink. So you'll never have a pen that doesn't work. It writes every single time you use it. And not only that, it writes underwater, it writes through mga greasy surfaces, and it writes in almost every surface possible. Meron siyang technology na naka-pressurize yung cartridge niya sa loob. Meaning, it works almost every single time. But not only that pa, ma'am, sir, look at it being very, very small and being very, very pocketable. But when you use it, alam mo yung paminsan yung mga EDC na pen na medyo mahirap magsulat? Well, this one is so well designed that when you place the cap in the bottom portion, it becomes a full-sized pen and you can write properly. Now, that is why I freaking love this pen. I have like 3 of these everywhere around the house, plus 1 in my bag. Now, the whole point of this being able to write on any surface is not for bragging rights. This is actually very, very useful for me when it comes to mga construction sites. I write on wood, I write on stone, I write on the walls. So, this is perfect for that. And that's the Fisher Space Pen. Link down below. This next item, I get a lot of questions about. Mga comments lang sa Instagram kung ano daw yung relo na ginagamit ko. And I'm very, very proud and happy to be using these ones. These are classic Casio watches. But you have to be very careful when buying in Lazada. Sa Lazmall kayo bibili because there are a lot of fakes out there. These are, I think, 800 pesos, and the silver one, the stainless steel one, is I think at around 1,400 pesos. Sobrang sulit nito, guys. It has everything you could possibly need. And this is what I wear whenever gusto ko lang magiging casual. I don't need a fancy watch. Or whenever I'm traveling, I don't have to think about taking care of the watch. This is perfect for that. So these are one of my favorite watches, even though it's very, very budget friendly. These are the classic Casio Watch collection, and I'll put a link down below to Lazmall so you get the genuine article. Now, this item is perfect for the iPhone users in your life, and this is the mobile tripod by Peak Design. Now, this is very, very cleverly designed because this small thing, the size of about a credit card, which fits in your pocket very, very easily. You can hide it, you can carry it, lightweight and everything, is actually a very effective tripod. All you have to do is snap it at the back of your iPhone and nagiging stand na siya. And not only does it serve as a tripod, ito yung pag nagtatrabaho ka, nakikita mo lahat dito, yung mga messages mo. And you can even watch YouTube videos by placing it in landscape format. Now, not only that, you can actually play around with the legs to give you more angles. Now, siyempre, tripod siya, so 3 legs. And you can now swivel it to whatever angle that you prefer. And not only that, again, you can also do it in landscape mode. So this is not just perfect for me, this is perfect for my wife and for the content creators and the photography lovers in your life. And I can personally say that I would be bringing this along in our future travels. The only con with this is kailangan natin ng case na yung may magnet din. Kasi if you use the ordinary case, hindi siya masyadong dumidikit, medyo madulas siya. So it's either you don't have a case or yung case na may magnet din to help it along. One complaint I have with most mga mobile tripods are eventually naglo-lose tong ball head niya dito. And the good thing about this, it's so well thought of na meron na siyang key dito to help you adjust it to your desired tightness or looseness. So you just get the key from here and adjust it as you wish and put it back there so you'll never lose it and you're ready to go. So that's the mobile tripod by Peak Design. Now, our smartphones have become very, very powerful, but paminsan, iba pa rin yung meron tayong physical na hinahawak. For example, calculator versus smartphone, I prefer the physical buttons of a calculator. And along that thread, I also prefer a physical timer, such as this one. This is the Baseus magnetic timer, and it's very, very satisfying to use. And I've been using this all the time sa office ko to time my work, to time my rest, and even sa gym when I'm doing workouts. This is perfect for that. And the wonderful thing about this timer is how it's been cleverly designed. Each and every single thing about it makes you want to touch it and play with it in terms of, like, for example, setting the time. Iniikot mo tong ring outside to set the minutes and the seconds that you would want. And then you can press the button to let it count down. Press to stop the time and press and hold to get it back down to 0. And you're done. No more fiddling with a lot of things on your phone, and paminsan nade-distract pa tayo when we receive mga messages and emails, etc., etc. So this has been a very, very handy tool by my side. This is also perfect for those who love to cook. And not only that, magnetic din to siya. So I can stick it in metal surfaces, kita ba? And I can use it like so. This is the Baseus timer, and I highly recommend this as a gift item for those of us that at least are trying to get a little bit more organized and unplugged from our smart devices. This is the Pelican R40 Ruck case, and this is an amazing travel companion for guys. It's waterproof, it's crush proof, it's dust-proof, and it's very, very handy. Now, it has this large hole here on both sides so that pwede nating ilagay ng carabiner for mga backpacks. But I use this to organize my things when I travel because inside, ang dami niyang magandang compartments. You can be very, very creative. You can put toiletries here, you can put medicine here, and then meron pa siyang tray na may strap where you can strap in, sabihin natin, watches, jewelry, or mga items like this, pwede nating ilagay ng ganyan. Or even mga camping stuff, pwede rin dito. So, I feel like this is one of the perfect example of like a guy's organization item talaga. There's a smaller version of this and there's a slightly bigger version of this. This is the medium size, the R40. And I've been using this all the time. Nilalagyan ko ng mga gamit up top. Meron to siyang rubber net that you can squeeze in items such as your phone here. And then tago na siya dyan. And you can have your favorite utilities on this bottom portion right here. So this is perfect for mga camping adventures or mga beach trips so that you can place your items here and you know that it would always be safe and sound. I think this is even effective for mga photographers. Marami tayong mga gear. Yung mga maliliit na mga abubot, pwede nating ilagay dito rin. So this is a good option for the adventurous guys in your life. Maganda tong gift na to. And I feel like it's very well thought of. Ito yung mga ma-appreciate ko na maliit na bagay. Meron kasi akong mga parang ganito, but not Pelican yung brand, na ang hirap, kunin ko pa yung tray na it's kind of like medyo clumsy ng konti. They place this small hole here, then diretso na kuha ka ng ganyan. It's the small things that matter. Even how you attach and install this net thing, it's very well thought of already. Kompleto na siya. It's rubberized lining so you don't end up scratching your stuff. This is the Pelican R40 Ruck case. I'll put all the links to all the sizes down below. Okay, our last item is one of our most expensive items. Pero mamaya na yan, papakita ko kung bakit I feel like it may be worth it for you guys. Siyempre, it's Christmas season and mahilig tayo sa wine. Maraming magbubukas ng wine, di ba? Just like kami ni Chris, mahilig kaming to chill out and relax with a bottle of wine. The biggest problem with having a wine hobby is that you cannot possibly finish the whole bottle without getting drunk kung kayong dalawa lang. And this next item is why we love this so much. This is the Korovan Timeless 6. So there's different models. There's a lower end model and there's a higher end model pa of this one. I'll put all the links down below. But what this essentially does is it allows you to pour wine without opening the cork. Thereby, yung wine mo sa loob will last for years even after you consuming a partial portion of the bottle. And this is how it works. You just slot it in place. And itong thin wire that we see right here is actually a needle that when you push it down, it penetrates the cork. And then you can pour it to the wine glass that you have right here. Meron to siyang argon gas capsule here that actually replaces the wine with argon glass, making sure that hindi masisira yung wine inside. And this is perfect for wine lovers like us. We actually gifted this to some of our very good friends as well. So, ayan, I can have just a serving of wine. Okay na ako. And I take it out, just like so. And boom, andyan yung cork mo. You can see a little bit of a puncture there, but see, it's not open at all. This was invented by one of those guys na gumagawa ng mga medical needles, yung mga medical devices. So this is like right down their alley. This is the Korovan. This is the Model 6. And I highly recommend it, pero careful lang of the price. But if you really love wine, this will be so much worth it because we can now go back to this some other day. Or, paminsan, si Chris gusto ng white wine, ako gusto ng red wine. So we can just mix and match without the pressure of consuming the whole bottle. that's it guys. I hope these items have been interesting to you and meron kayong mga ideas na kukuha na if not for someone else, baka for you din, di ba? I'll end this video with a cheers kasi Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Happy holidays guys, and I'll see you later.